सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome you all with my love and respects. Today's subject for the satsang is wealth, creation and sustenance. I can say life can be equated to two things. One, the ability to achieve what you want in the inner or outer world, or just getting stuck in both the world. These are the only two equations. As on now, at least people who are sitting in front of me, I can say very clearly, there is nobody who doesn't want wealth. Everybody wants it. But they do not increase the life in them to the level they want it. Wealth can be equated to the life energy you express. Straight equation. Because as on now, a normal man has wealth as the first priority in the life. So be very clear. If you do not have wealth, don't blame anybody, just you are not expressing life in you. Life energy is not happening in you. You may think, what an incarnation has to do with wealth? Why Swamiji should talk about wealth? I can tell you, wealth itself is not wrong. Your concept about wealth, if it is correct and proper, not only it will not be wrong, it will be right. I wanted to present first few basic concepts about wealth properly. First, when a man decides to create wealth, not steal, understand, create wealth, you will have wealth and the great fulfillment you lived. And your whole energy will be towards the creation, not destroying others. I am seeing very clearly, the fellows who are interested in destroying others, going after people, harassing them, they are completely dull, dead. In their very consciousness, they are poor. I tell you, the consciousness, attitude which works towards creating wealth makes you non-violent, because your whole energy becomes creative. Creating wealth brings tremendous interest in life and non-violence. First I have to clear all the wrong concepts about wealth. Only then I should talk about wealth. Otherwise you will not be able to grasp why an incarnation, a Paramahamsa should talk about wealth, why a sannyasi should talk about wealth. Only he can talk about wealth because he has gone beyond wealth. he cannot be made wealthy by wealth. Only a man who cannot be made wealthy by wealth has a right to talk all the secrets about wealth. Only those methods of grabbing, stealing, robbing is wrong, sin. Otherwise, creating wealth, if you are contributing something directly to the people, universe, if you are grabbing from others without contributing anything, that is what is sin. So creating wealth is intrinsic part of life. Krishna says very beautifully in Gita, Gahano karmano gatihi. The universe by its nature works. If you have at least the goal of creating wealth, you will be creative. Your energy will be channeled properly. I can give you the clear guidance. The first priority should be in the life for moksha, enlightenment. Till that happens, the second priority can be creating wealth. Understand? Not grabbing or robbing or stealing. Creating wealth. Anything else is a third priority. And I don't want to talk about third priorities. Creating wealth makes you non-violent. Because you will be too busy with the people, with the world, with life, by creating. First, remove the guilt about wealth from your inner space. Second, understand the expression of life through you is equivalent to the wealth you create, not grab, you create. So the more and more life energy starts expressing through you, more and more you create. Life energy expression and wealth is one and the same. Seekers always justify their poverty as their spiritual quality and innocence. So if you are not wealthy, understand, if you have decided not to create wealth, great. But if you want to create wealth and not wealthy, if you have a greed for the wealth or a desire for wealth and not wealthy, be very clear, you are not a seeker, you are a seeker. Something is seriously wrong in you. Look into it. Wealth itself is not sin. Somebody is having problem because of having, somebody is having problem because of not having. Problem is a problem, wealth is not a problem. Problem is a problem, wealth is not a problem. Person who is having guilt because of having, person who is having guilt because of not having, both are big, you can say very big sickness. I have seen many of these rich men, because they carry a deep guilt imposed on them by society, even though they created their wealth very honestly, in a creative way, because of the guilt imposed by society on them, they live a very miserable life and go on drinking alcohol and trying to have high costly entertainments just to forget this guilt. Many times they come to me for their problems and in need of solution. When I analyze their inner space and life, there is no problem. Then why are they suffering? The only guilt which they are carrying, which is imposed on them by society. I tell them, come on, don't imbibe the guilt given to you by the fellows who are incapable. You do not cheat or grab or be dishonest. That's right. That's enough. But no need to carry a guilt on the wealth, about having wealth. Rich men carry this guilt very deeply. And just to escape from that, they get into all kinds of addictions. And their life is hell as a fellow who doesn't have money. And the next thing, having is one side, not having. This is a very funny side. Having the desire to have wealth, not having it, but giving a valid reason why they are not having it. This is also another one important slave mentality. We always think work not done plus valid reason is equivalent to work done. And your mind is such a cunning mind, it creates very valid reasons and justifies itself. Why? You are poor, and not only that, adding sacredness to poverty. Who are adding sacredness to poverty. Relax. Don't add sacredness to your scaredness. Because you are scared of life, you back out from life, and for the feeling of scared, you add sacredness. You start saying, no. You see, I am not the kind who can tell lies. This word is a lie. I am not the kind who cheat others. What is there? Little bit, 2 meal, and 1 small house, and 2, 3 piece clothes. That's enough for life. If it is enough, why are you going around and bragging about it? Be content. The fellows who talk about their poverty being their great quality will not keep quiet, because they are trying to make sacredness out of it. It is such a cunningness, how people brag about their wealth and try to create identity. People brag about their poverty and try to create identity. At least when you brag about your wealth and try to create identity, you will be little intelligent, because society would have beaten you, you would have learned a lot of lessons from society, and you will be more creative. But if you are bragging about your poverty and creating an identity, that is the worst cunning identity. I tell you, I faced all problems in my life only from the fellows who claim they are poor and try to create sacredness for poverty. Rich fellows have a lot of maturity, I tell you, and more sincere when they take up spiritual truths in their life. See, I am telling you, I am declaring the new Smriti. I am a Smritikara. Not creating wealth is sin. I am declaring it very clearly. Just like a grabbing, stealing, accumulating wealth in a wrong ways is a sin, grabbing, stealing, robbing, how it is sin. Same way, not creating is sin. It means what? You don't take the responsibility for your actions. Your actions are not focused. It is like just cheating in the name of work. I have seen Abba, all types of cheating. I have seen people doing all kinds of cheating. We have this wrong concept. Work not done plus valid reason is equivalent to work done. Work not done plus valid reason is equivalent to work done. It's a very funny. Especially these Vedantis. I am telling you, because I am a Vedanti, I am telling you, I am not criticizing others, I am doing a self-criticism of the whole, the ideology. Vedantis missed to give a right understanding about wealth to society. Right understanding about wealth is life. I wanted all of you to understand donating or doing charity is nothing wrong, great. Sharing is nothing wrong, great. But being cheated is something seriously wrong. People tend to mix being cheated and charity together. No. If you want to donate and share, great, nothing wrong. But you are doing some work, somebody steals, cheats your money, is something seriously wrong. Be intelligent. Be little more practical. Stop the mental blocks and a deep hatred you carry for work. Please understand. As Krishna says, Gahano karmano gati. Life's flow is work. If you are not creating wealth, all your work is happening in wrong direction. Your work is happening more in the line of destruction, not in right direction. The integrity, I am telling you from my experience. Now experience of handling so many worst possible situations in life. Actually, this whole rumors and the problems created around me has made me really rich in life. Economically, I may not have become rich, but in life I have become very rich. Now I know how to handle people. I know who should be trusted and who should not be trusted. I have learned a lot of lessons. Actually, I tell you, these lessons are really worthy of the money we lost. We lost a lot of money. But these lessons I learned are really worthy, because it will be asset forever for the whole future. Sometime, the lessons you learn become more valuable than the situations try to hit you. Look in. Remove the deep hatred for work. See, life is by its nature flow. If you create wealth, at least it will be directed in one line of creativity. If you are not creating wealth, be very clear. One, you will be spending all your time in destroying something, somebody, or you will be spending all your time in fighting with you, in depression. Fighting with your own self. Morning half an hour you will argue whether to create wealth or not. Evening half an hour you will argue whether to create wealth or not. Morning you will argue, I should create wealth. Evening you will argue, no, I should not create wealth. And night you will fall asleep. Between the morning and evening again you will be spending time in eating. That's all. After 20 years, what you have done? No, I debated morning whether to create wealth or not. The side of creating. In the evening, debated for not creating. Finally, nothing has happened. Life is wasted. That's all. Not having wealth is a wrong mental setup. Awaken the creativity in you. Remove the hatred for work, creativity. I'll give you further, deeper, exact techniques and process to create wealthy consciousness. First you need to create a wealthy consciousness which is ready to take the responsibility to create and sustain, which is ready to take the responsibility of being creative. For being creative, you need to take many responsibilities. It doesn't happen like a breeze. Even if the breeze happens, you need to be responsible to keep your doors open for the breeze to blow through you, flow through you. Yen Kriya is a direct technique, method, process for creating a wealth consciousness in you. Of course, now I am developing a clear procedure and process, techniques and technology for creating wealthy consciousness in you. That is what I am offering as a Yen Wealth program. As on now, we don't have time to dive into all the aspects of wealth. I'll give you the Vedic way of wealth management, creating and sustenance. In Vedic tradition, we have two major gods representing wealth, Kubera and Lakshmi. Kubera is a guy who holds stock market. Lakshmi is the bank circulating. Lakshmi gives, circulates. Kubera holds, sits on it. Treasury and currency. We have another two dimensions of wealth in Vedic tradition. Sanganidhi, Badumanidhi. Understand? Badumanidhi means flowered wealth, like a lotus, created. Sanganidhi means conquered wealth. Flowered wealth, conquered wealth. Conquered wealth is not robbed wealth. Please understand. Conquered wealth is not robbed wealth. It is not like a Ghajni Muhammad coming to Somnath temple and robbing the whole temple, grabbing all the gold and taking it away. No, that is not Sanganidhi. Sanganidhi is conquered from the natural sources. Badumanidhi is made to flower from natural resources. So I'll speak on the different dimensions. Sanganidhi, Badumanidhi means creating way. Creating as two system in the Vedic tradition. Sanganidhi, Badumanidhi. And sustenance as two system. Kubera and Lakshmi. So I'll speak on all four dimensions in the N-Wealth, wealth management program. How an enlightened man creates and maintains wealth without being touched, but it is created and shared with the world. Please understand, I have the right to talk about this subject because I created. I have created this whole Sangha just based on the truth of enlightenment. Thousands of rumors may happen around me. People may try to create, but nobody can deny the honest, proper, hard-working way we created this whole wealth and maintaining this whole Sangha. Whenever people donate, I always tell them, wait for at least 1 year. See our activities and lifestyle. Then after that, if you are feeling connected and wanted to support me for what I already delivered to you, give. I wanted you to give only out of gratitude for whatever you have already received. Not expecting anything in the future may be delivered. No. I made it very clear every time when somebody wants to donate. Again and again. And even now I am making it very clear. Anybody wants to donate? See, contribute only for what I already gave you. Not expecting something else I'll give you now, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. No. So I'll talk about creation and sustenance, different aspect and dimensions of wealth in the N-Wealth program. Now, one technique to create the wealthy consciousness in you, which attracts wealth around you, which makes you take the responsibility for your life, not to hide behind work not done plus valid reasons is equivalent to work done. That is the theory with which a slave mentality works, slave mind works. You can't eat the valid reasons. Valid reasons cannot give what you want in the life. Valid reasons are growing out of depression. So let us first create wealth consciousness. I have a few questions. I'll answer these questions. Swamiji, we are exactly 1 month away from April Inner Awakening. Can you say a few words about uniqueness of April Inner Awakening? This Inner Awakening, I'm going to add 3 unique things. Technique for past life regression, techniques for predicting your death, techniques for changing the death, techniques for facing the death and using it as a door to enlightenment, and techniques for levitation. It is going to be a very strong special process and techniques for levitation. One question, I think these are from different centers from around the world. Difference between doing IA and multiple 2-day programs. What is the difference? Won't my mitochondria level increase by doing multiple 2-day programs? See, multiple 2-day programs may increase the mitochondria to a certain level, some maybe 100%, 200%. But the inner awakening is going to increase your mitochondria cell energy not only to more than 1000%, it is going to work on awakening the deeper strands of DNA. See, today if you work on some idea, some technique, and give a break for 1 week, and again start today, second time when you start, you have to start from zero. It's practically from beginning. That is the reason I am telling you, if it is continuous 21 days, the process will be strong, solid and permanent in you. So the continuous 21 days is required, not just mitochondria energy level, to awaken the deeper strands of DNA also. That's the reason I recommend 21-day program than multiple 2-day programs. Multiple 2-day programs are more for introduction and give you the first experience. But the 21 days make you stable in that experience. Somebody is asking, I have done LEP, Living Enlightenment process for 48 days. Why should I do 21-day IA program? Again, that LEP is more like a initial introduction. Whatever I created, I just expressed. In the 21-day, everything is specially studied, analyzed, organized for the direct experience and permanent experience. That is the reason 21-day inner awakening. I am watching morning Patanjali Yoga Sutras and evening Brahma Sutras regularly. I am experiencing levitation and really enjoying the experience. I feel fulfilled and satisfied. What will I get by attending the inner awakening? Fulfilled and satisfied is the first step for the spiritual growth. In inner awakening, you will enter into the deeper mystical dimensions of ultimate enlightenment. You see, the initial level of feeling fulfilled and satisfied is great when you get certain experiences. But the mystical dimensions opening and flowering, the ultimate inner awakening happening, will really happen in 21 days, continuously working in one ambience with particular technology directly with the master. So it will be completely different. Patanjali Yoga Sutras and Brahma Sutras are like going to resort morning and evening, having a cup of coffee and coming back to the house and work. But 21-day inner awakening is more like a complete vacation. So you cannot compare that. It will completely rejuvenate you, renovate you, reinvent you for you. What experience will I get after doing inner awakening? Oh, It can only be experienced. What will I say? You should see the experience of the people who attended the program. That will give you more understanding. This time I work to make you experience the mitochondria cell energy awakening and the deeper strands of DNA awakening. Above all, a complete, intense inner fulfillment and inner awakening for spiritual enlightenment. So I recommend, invite, expect all of you to be here for inner awakening from around the world. So I bless all of you. Let you all achieve, experience, live, express, radiate, and share the eternal bliss, Nityananda.
Putting all my trust in you, 'cause you know it's best for me to lead a blissful life, a life with no more strife. Can't believe the things I do, just to spend a little time with you. Nothing will compare, I know you will take care.
You're always showing us compassion. Your love is endless like an ocean. Nityananda, Nityananda. My life's become a meditation. Ever since we had a